Okay, so today we are going to start with nucleic acid, that is 3.8. Okay, now nucleic acids are the larger molecules that were discovered in the cell nuclei, and hence their name, because they are present in the nucleus of a cell. These nucleic acids are of two types, that is the DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid, and RNA, that is ribose nucleic acid, and both have roles in the storage and transfer of genetic information and synthesis of polypeptide, that is the protein. Basically, DNA is mainly used for the storage and transfer of genetic information from one generation to other generation, and RNA mainly works in the formation, or you can say the synthesis of proteins, that is polypeptide. They are the basis of the heredity. Heredity means that is the structural changes or any other thing which we are getting from our ancestors, or you can say the things which are passed from one generation to other generation. So these all are done through with the help of DNA and RNA. Okay. Now we have nucleotide and nucleic acid. Nucleic acid contains three elements, that is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The nucleic acid contains the elements carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. So these five elements are the ones which are present in a nucleic acid. Now they are large polymers formed many nucleotides, the monomers linked in a chain. Now see this slide. Now, first of all, we will discuss about the composition of nucleic acid. Before this, we will study about, nucleic acid are the most complex organic, and it was discovered by, or you can say it was discovered by Friedrich Mixture in 1871. And nucleic acids are the macromolecules found in all the cells which precipitate, or you can say which precipitate in the storage and transmission of genetic information. We have studied this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, nucleic acids were first isolated from the cellular nucleus, and hence they are named as a nucleic acid. And nucleic acids are macromolecules, that is huge polymers and molecular masses over 1000 million. Functions of nucleic acid. The first function of nucleic acid is DNA is the permanent storage place of the genetic information. Second, DNA controls synthesis of RNA. And third, sequence of nitrogenous base in DNA determines the protein development. So DNA not only helps in the transportation and storage of genetic information, it also helps in the protein development in a new cell. Okay. Now nucleic acid consists of two things. The first one is nucleoside plus nucleotide, NucleoTide. Nucleoside plus nucleotide. Nucleoside means sugar plus nitrogenous base. Nucleoside means sugar plus nitrogenous base, and nucleotide means sugar plus nitrogenous base plus phosphate group. If in a nucleoside you add phosphate group, it will become nucleotide, and these two things combine together and form a nucleic acid. Got it? So nucleic acid consists of three main things. The first one is pentose sugar, that is 5-carbon sugar, then nitrogenous base, and then third one is phosphate group. Clear?
Yeah.
Nitrogenous base and sugar, they combine together and we call them as a nucleoside. NuCleoside, we call them as a nucleoside, and these three combine together and known as nucleotide. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, and these nitrogenous base, now these nitrogenous base are of again two types, purines and pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines, and these purines are of two types, adenine and guanine, and pyridamines are of three types, that is cytosine, thymine, and uracil. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Do I need to repeat it again?
So the nucleic acid is basically three things. It takes
Yeah, nucleic
Right.
acid is basically of three things: sugar, nitrogenous base, and phosphate group. Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this nitrogenous base consists of two things: purines and pyrimidines.
Yeah.
Fine. And these
Yeah.
purines are of two types: adenine and guanine, and pyrimidines are of three types: cytosine, thymine, and uracil. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. जी. Sugar plus nitrogenous base is known as nucleoside. Nucleoside, SIDE, side. Okay. And sugar plus
Yeah.
nitrogenous base plus phosphate group. These three are known as nucleotide. Got it?
Yeah.
Sugar plus nitrogenous base plus phosphate group. These three combine together and are known as nucleotide. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. जी. Got it? Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. These are the structures of adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, and uracil. No need to understand those structures. They are not there in the syllabus. Okay. Now see structure of this nucleotide. If you see this one, this is sugar. Fine.
Which one?
This one,
Yeah.
this one
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
sugar. This is your sugar. 5 carbons are there. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clear? On this
Yeah.
carbon, we have, on second carbon, we have a nitrogenous base. This is nitrogenous base. And on this carbon, there is a phosphate group. Clear? This is sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Clear? Do I need to repeat it again?
No, I get it. Yeah, I understand.
Let's see this. This is nitrogenous base and this is phosphate group. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. जी. Okay. Now we are moving towards your NCRT. Yep. Now if you see this, nucleic acid consists of elements like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen and phosphorus. They are the large polymers formed from many nucleotides. Nucleotides, we have studied that it consists of these three: base, sugar, and phosphate groups, and they are linked together in a chain. Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you can see phosphate group. This is PO4. Phosphate group is PO4 minus 2. Fine. Sugar is this one, and this is nitrogenous base. Now, an individual nucleotide made up of three components. The first one is pentose sugar monosaccharide that we have said it contains 5 carbon. The second one is phosphate group, that is PO4 minus 2. And the third one is a nitrogenous base, a complex organic molecule containing one or two carbon rings, in its structure as well as nitrogen. Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it? Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay, now see. Nucleotides are linked together by condensing the reactions to form a polymer called as nucleotide. Now, suppose this is the structure of a one monomer. Now, if this monomer is repeated again and again, then it will form a whole strand. Clear? Is that clear?
Yeah. Yeah. It's clear.
Okay. Now, if you see, a nucleotide has three components. This is sugar. This one is blue. This blue denotes what? This is sugar one. The nucleotide consists of three components: a sugar, a phosphate group, and a base. This is a base,
And
and
that's
this is
phosphate group.
phosphate group. Clear? Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you see, this is the one, this is first, this is second, third, fine. So there three are connected together. And how these three are
Yeah.
connected together? They are connected with this bond. If you see, they are connected with this bond. Clear? They are connected with this thing. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So nucleotide, this one is known as a nucleotide. Nucleotide are linked together by condensation reaction and form a polymer known as polynucleide. This is known as a polynucleide. So poly means many. You can say a substance which contain many nucleotides are known as polynucleotide. Clear? Poly means many, nucleotide means this group. Okay? Is that clear?
Yeah. Yeah. It's clear.
Okay, ji. Now a phosphate group at fifth carbon of pentose sugar has one nucleotide forms a covalent bond with the OH group of the third carbon. Now see, in this case, on the fifth carbon, we have phosphate group. This is 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1, 3, 4, and 5. This is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. एक मिनट रुक जाए यार. Wait. This I need to clear it. Okay. So if you see this one, this is oxygen. Fine. 1, 2, 3. This is 4, and this is fifth carbon. Fine. Here it is, fifth carbon. Fine. On this fifth carbon, we have phosphate group. Now, in this case, this third carbon, there we have carbon also. If you see this third carbon OH is attached with the fifth. Is that clear? Yes or no? No? See this, wait. I will show, just give me a second. कहाँ गया? देखो, this is the structure. This third
Yeah.
carbon, we have OH. Now see. Wait. यही बनाते हैं मेरे को. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth carbon, and this is phosphate group. And if you draw this phosphate group, it is something like this. This carbon is there. This is P, oxygen, 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 oxygen. This oxygen is attached to this one. Okay? So this is your phosphate group. Clear? Any doubt in this? And here we have OH. This is carbon, and this carbon is attached with OH. Now this is again attached with here again we have carbon, oxygen. Here we have oxygen. Fine. Here we have OH. 1, 2, 3. Now this phosphate group is attached with this oxygen. Clear? There is a bond between them. Okay? And this bond is known as nucleoside bond. Is that clear? Manya, is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay. So the phosphate group at the fifth carbon, the phosphate group at the fifth carbon of the pentose sugar of the one nucleotide forms a covalent bond with the hydroxyl OH group of the third carbon of the pentose sugar of an adjacent nucleoside, and this linkage is known as phosphodiester linkage. And this linkage is known as phosphodiester linkage. This is known as phosphodiester bond. Clear? Got it?
Hello?
Hello,
Yeah.
yes? Anji.
Yeah.
Okay, ji. So this forms a long, strong sugar phosphate backbone with a sugar attached to each, base attached to each sugar.
Is
And
it
this,
from the carbon from the other nucleotide?
Yes. So many nucleotides are attached. Now. This is the first nucleotide, second nucleotide, third, fourth, fifth. So many are attached. So here we have 3,5,3,5 linkage, and this linkage is known as phosphodiester bond.
Okay.
Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Any doubt up to this point?
No.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you see this one, now this forms a long, strong sugar phosphate backbone with a base attached to each sugar. Now, in this case, the similar manner, a long backbone is formed, and here we have a base attached. This base is attached with each sugar, and the phosphodiester bonds are broken by hydrolysis. You can break this bond with the help of hydrolysis. Clear? The reverse of condensation, releasing the individual nucleotides. If you want to break it down, just we need to add water. Hydrolysis is there. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Any doubt up to this point? So this is important.
No.
This phosphodiester
No.
bond is important, and this figure is also important. Okay?
Yeah.
Do I need to repeat it again?
No, I understand.
The bond between the third carbon and the phosphate group of the other carbon is known as a phosphodiester bond. Clear? The bond between the OH, third carbon OH and the third carbon OH and adjacent pentose sugar and the adjacent this phosphorus group is known as phosphodiester bond. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, ji. Okay, now we have deoxyribose nucleic acid, that is DNA. As the name suggests, the sugar in deoxyribose nucleic acid is a deoxyribose sugar, a sugar with a fewer oxygen atoms than the ribose as shown in figure 3. In figure 3, this figure. This is deoxyribose sugar, this is oxyribose sugar. You can clearly see the difference in the structure. This one. OH, this is same. H and OH, this is different. In this case, we have two hydrogens are there. This is deoxyribose. In this case, HOH is there. So this is ribose sugar. Clear? Deoxy, D means removal of oxygen. Whenever from a ribose sugar, if oxygen is removed, we call it as a deoxyribose. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
D means removal, oxy means oxygen, removal of oxygen. So this is the sugar base for the DNA and this is the sugar base for RNA. The difference is this is first carbon on second carbon. In case of deoxyribose sugar, on second carbon we have both H and H are there. But in case of ribose sugar on the second one, here HOH. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see the nucleic acids in DNA each have 4 different base. The nucleic acid in DNA each have one of the 4 different bases. This means that there are 4 different DNA molecules given. Okay, there are 4 different DNA nucleotides. So DNA has 4 different nucleotides which are given in the figure 4. The 4 bases can be divided into 2 main groups that we have already discussed. That is pyrimidine and purines. Pyrimidines are the smaller bases which contain single carbon ring structure, that is thymine and cytosine, that is TNC. Clear? So pyrimidines means
Can you say that bit again?
thymine and cytosine. They contain single carbon ring structure. Single carbon ring structure like this. The single carbon ring is there. In this, only one ring is present.
Yeah.
In case of pyrimidines, only one ring is present. But in case of purines, there are more than one ring are present. Okay?
Yeah.
If you see pyrimidines, single carbon ring structure is there. And these pyrimidines are of 2 types, that is thymine and cytosine. Okay? Now purines are the little bit larger bases which contains double carbon rings, and examples are adenine and guanine. Okay? The examples are adenine and guanine. Got it? Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can see pyrimidines are like this and purines are like this. Okay. Now thymine and adenine, how they are connected? There is C double bond O and H2. Now in this case, what happens? NH and N. This hydrogen and oxygen are connected together, and in this case, these are two connected together. So here, sorry. So this is the bond formation, how they are connected. Now, if you see cytosine and guanine, the same bond is there, N2 and O, N and N, and this one. In case of thymine and adenine, there are 2 bonds are there. In case of cytosine and guanine, there are 3 bonds are there. Clear? Is that clear, Manya? Am I audible?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Now we will see double helix structure. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the DNA molecule varies in length from a few nucleotides to millions of nucleotides. It is made up of 2 strands of polynucleotides coiled into helix known as DNA. Now this DNA is helical in shape. That is because of the again and again coiling. Now DNA molecule varies in length from a few nucleotides to million nucleotides. It has so many number of nucleotides and it is made up of 2 strands of nucleotides coiled into a helix. It is something like this. Wait. I will show. Something like this. This is a double helix structure. Fine. Clear? Is it visible? Yes, Manya, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, now you can see these are the 2 strands. This is the first strand and this is the second strand. They are connected together. Adenine and thymine are connected together by 2 bonds. 2 hydrogen bonds are there, but guanine and cytosine are connected by 3 hydrogen bonds. So they are connected together and they are twisted. Actually, they are connected like this. Because of this hydrogen bonding, there is a creation of helix structure. Clear? So this is like a double helix structure. Okay, got it? Any doubt in this? Is that clear? Okay. The two strands of double helix structure are held together by hydrogen bonding between the bases, much like the rungs of the ladder. It's just like a ladder. Each strand has a phosphate group 5 at the fifth carbon at one end and the hydroxyl group at the third at the other end. And the two parallel strands are arranged so that they run in the opposite direction and they are said to be anti-parallel. So these two strands are running in anti-directions from opposite to each other and therefore they are known as anti-parallel. The pairing between the base allows DNA to be copied and transcripted, key properties required for the molecule of the heredity. Now, whatever the pairing is there in the case of DNA, this allows the DNA to be copied and transcribed, okay, and to, you can say, transfer the key properties that are required for a molecule of the heredity. Whatever the things are required for heredity, it has been paired and then it will be copied easily. You can clearly see this, the same figure I have already shown you. This is deoxy sugar. A and T is there, C and G is there. And you can see anti-parallel means this is, you can see opposite upper side and this one is lower side.
Yeah.
So it means they are anti-parallel to each other. The backbone composed of deoxyribose and phosphate molecule and the rungs are the base pair. These are the base pairs and the connection between these two base pairs are hydrogen bonding. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Now base pair ruling. These base pairs are complementary base pairing is there. It means adenine and thymine are connecting A and T or T or A is there, are able to form two hydrogen bonds and always join with each other. So adenine and thymine are always going to join with each other, and cytosine and guanine forms three hydrogen bond, so only bind with each other, and this is known as complementary base pairing. So A will always connect to T and G is always connected to C. It can't be anything else. Fine. Is that clear? Okay. Now see, these rules mean that a small pyrimidine base always binds to a larger purine base. It means that one small pyrimidine base will always bind with a larger purine base, and this arrangement contains a constant distance between the DNA backbones, resulting in a parallel polynucleotide chain. And because of this thing, a parallel polynucleotide chain is created. Okay, clear? A complementary base pairing means that DNA always has an equal amount of adenine and thymine and equal amount of cytosine and guanine. As thymine and adenine are always going to connect with each other, so therefore their number will always be equal. And same thing is with the cytosine and guanine. So adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine are always in the complementary base pairing, and hence their number is same. And this was known longer before the detailed structure of DNA proposed by Watson and Crick in 1953. So 1953, Watson and Crick are the two scientists which proposed the structure of DNA. Okay. Now, it is the sequence of bases along a DNA strand that carries the genetic information of an organism in the form of a code. Now, this sequence base, this A to G, this sequence, it is a sequence of the bases of along the DNA strand that carries the genetic information of an organism and form a code, and that will be copied from one generation to other generation. In the next topic, we will examine how the sequence of the bases of the code and the sequence of the amino acids are to be needed to make different proteins. So in our next class, we will study about how these sequences are coded and they are replicated. Clear? Up to this point, any doubt? Manya?
Yeah, I get this.
Okay, fine. Actually, meeting will over after 2 minutes. So what you will do, you will join the same link. Fine. After 2 minutes, join the same link. As it is finished,
What should I do?
the meeting will automatically shut down after 2 minutes. You have to join the same link. Okay. Is that clear?
That's clear.
Okay. Now,
Hello?
yes. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have ribonucleic acid RNA. Okay. So this is the last topic thing we will do. Okay, fine. Wait. Okay. So ribonucleic acid, that is RNA. RNA means ribose nucleic acid, plays an essential role in the transfer of genetic information from DNA to the proteins that make up the enzyme and tissue of the body. Yes. So RNA helps in transferring the genetic information from DNA to the proteins. And those proteins are helpful, or they make up the enzyme and the tissues of the body. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so RNA role is to transfer genetic information from DNA to protein. Then these proteins are going to form enzymes and tissues of the body. Now DNA stores all the genetic information needed by the organism. So DNA is like a hard disk. It is storing each and every information which is passed on a generation to generation. Okay. However, DNA of each eukaryotic chromosome is a week long molecule. So you know what is the eukaryotic cell? Eukaryotic cells, chromosomes are there, is a very long molecule which comprising of many thousands of genes and is unable to leave a nucleus in order to supply the information directly to the site of the protein synthesis. Now, as this genetic chromosome, this is very big, so it will be difficult. It comprises of the hundreds of the genes, so it is unable to leave the nucleus to supply the information directly to the site of protein synthesis. So wherever the protein is manufactured, so at the site of protein synthesis, it is difficult to take all the information directly. Okay, so to get around this problem, a relatively shorter version of selection of long DNA molecule corresponding to a single gene is transcribed into a similar short messenger RNA, that is mRNA molecule. Now suppose we are studying, so we are not able to move each other's house because you are in London, I am there, so we can't move to each other's house. So how we are studying? We are studying with the help of Zoom. We can study with the help of some other thing. Clear? In the same way, the long chromosomes is not be able to move from nucleus to the site of photosynthesis. So this problem is solved by the relatively short selection of a long DNA molecule corresponding to a single gene that is transcribed into a similar short messenger RNA that is known as mRNA molecule. Clear? Now, each individual mRNA is therefore much shorter than the whole chromosomes of a DNA, and it is a polymer composed of many nucleotide monomers. This mRNA is clear? Yes, Manya, mRNA is clear? I can't hear you. Okay, now this RNA nucleotides are different to DNA nucleotides as the pentose sugar is ribose rather than the deoxyribose. In the case
It
of
changes.
RNA, yes?
It changes the
Yes,
sugar.
yes. The sugar is different. In case of RNA, we have ribose sugar, and in case of DNA, we have deoxyribose sugar. Remember, this OH part, this extra oxygen is there in case of ribose one. Okay, okay, Ji.
Yeah.
Now, the thymine base is replaced by the uracil. In case of thymine base, we have a uracil. Like thymine, uracil is also a pyrimidine that forms two hydrogen bond with the adenine. So in case of DNA, we have A and T. Double bond A and T is formed, but in place of thymine, we have uracil. So this is not there. We have A double bond U, where U is uracil. Okay, so therefore, a base pairing rule will apply when RNA nucleosides bind to DNA to make copies of a particular section of DNA. So same type of, you can say, replication will take place. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, ji. Now, the RNA nucleotides form polymer in a way as the DNA nucleotide.
Hello?
Yes. Sorry. The RNA
Yeah.
nucleotides form polymer in the way as the DNA nucleotide. Now, RNA nucleotides forms the polymer the same way as the DNA is making. As the DNA replication is taking place, the same way RNA replication or RNA polymerization is taking place by the formation of the phosphodiester bond. Remember, 3 or 5, the third carbon OH is attached with the fifth carbon phosphate group. That is phosphodiester bond in the case of DNA. The same phosphodiester bond is there in the case of RNA. Clear? That is in the condensation reaction. The RNA polymer formed are small enough to leave the nucleus and travel to ribosomes. And these RNA are very small and they can leave and travel up to ribosomes, and therefore where they are central in the process of the protein synthesis, where they can form the, you can say, whatever the site of protein synthesis is there, they can move up to that site. Clear? And
Yeah.
after protein synthesis, the RNA molecule are degraded in the cytoplasm. They just dissolve it in the cytoplasm, and the phosphodiester bond are hydrolyzed, and the RNA nucleotides are released and reused. And this phosphodiester bond, it will hydrolyze and they are released. Nucleotides are released and they can be reused again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this DNA extraction is there in this syllabus.
We did this as an experiment in school.
Okay. So do I need to explain this? No.
I think no.
Okay, fine. Then leave it. So we have these 4 questions. So you have to do all these 4 questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thing? Okay. So you want to continue with this today or in the next class?
Maybe the next class.
Okay, fine. Chalo.